Raid, a favorite map of the players of Smart Omega, and we talked about this earlier on. The prediction for Raid will depend on the performance as well as the gunfights that we see on Summit. So I think we know exactly where this is gonna go.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to close out the details that we have right now from the past, because so far it has been broken already. Smart Omega is now on their feet and they will be showing up once again. Now it's a chance for Dunya Games to let go of what happened from the previous past two rounds, or for the past two matches, because they need to focus. They need to get that at least 1 point in this against Smart Omega to get ahead a little bit in terms of points.
Good flash. And that's a good response from both sides. Rage. Engagement goes soft as he gets taken out of the equation, but full trades coming right back through. Dunya Games sneaking away that one marker, but instantaneous response as Risky saves the day. Fran dropped, Zeze X dropped, and they clear off those markers as well. Smart Omega, sublime defense, but look at the setup coming through from the players of Dunya Games. Instantaneously rotating over towards that A control point, but Smart Omega, they smell something fishy and they rotate as well, and they should be able to get exactly that done from the side of money.
Yeah, though B is much easier to capture earlier on, but Alpha right now with that rotation, I think it's bringing more of that frags into the favor of Smart Omega. So much so it's only 2-point lead in terms of the life. Back to Bravo right now. This Zeze is now trying to attempt for a tick, but will be taken down and will be taken back on that hill. Now, on that point, but 23-18 onto the frags. A little bit careful for Smart Omega not to get down below 20 on the life point, and they're just getting kills after kills and smarting up.
I mean, that was such a huge opportunity for Dunya Games to confuse Smart Omega, because they had the player who was ripping away that B control point, and they had two players at that A control point, but neither one wanted to actually step onto the flag and play the game of distraction, which I really do not understand why. Dunya Games went for kills instead, and they are going to get punished, because controls is not about kills only. It's mainly about controlling the control point. Hence the name Control. 5 more seconds to go. Smart Omega punishes Dunya Games for misplaying this initial round. But 2 seconds onto the hole here. Dunya Games still trying to force the issue with two players sitting down inside. Predator takes out one from Laundry side. One finds it already, but it's just a single marker on there with that final slay. It's GGWP. Smart Omega pulls victory number 1, punishing Dunya Games for their mistakes.
That gameplay in the final 5 seconds could have been done already on Alpha earlier, as you pointed out, AJ. It's more of the smarts on like making that distraction as well as a quick rotation. They are taking a long rotation and giving time for Smart Omega to get back into position. Now, as we can see, it's now a 1-4 split for the side of Dunya Games, and everyone else is just heading into basketball court and to the swimming pool, and they are taking advantage of how difficult this hill has to be taken, and they are making it easy for this team.
You see what I mean? Right at AMR, you use it at control. It gives you a lot. Don't bring it out when it comes to hardpoint. I think this is, sorry, not hardpoint. Don't bring it out when it comes to S&D. I think a lot of those players really try to force the issue with the right tech, and Smart Omega this time round, I mean, ferocious in terms of attack. A captured very easily at the control point. That's the more difficult one to pull away, and Dunya Games really very scrappy, very messy in terms of setup, and they're playing control all wrong, and I'm actually surprised.
It's more of the mind games that has been played by Smart Omega. They know that's the most difficult hill or point to take, and they prioritize that, knowing that the defend will not be that much compared to B. Now that they have that advantage already, they can switch from both sides and pinch this square center and kill or take those kills against Dunya Games one at a time. But they need to be careful not to be risky and get a power position like the Laundry right now that is being held by one member right here, but will be taken down, and Annihilator in play already.
Wow, display by the players of Smart Omega. Oof, Idra wastes its Annihilator, but Risky's there for that backup trade. Steps on in. Movement. God, Risky, way too good. Shuts down those plays. Tags up 2 players at the same time. Third player on for the tag. Runs out of bullets. GGWP. Gonsey annihilates him with the Annihilator. But the game of numbers all on the side for Smart Omega. A 10 life deficit now for Dunia Games. And Smart Omega already ripping away the B control point as well. 2 markers taken away. Rage on for the slay. Smart Omega dominating Dunia Games. This was the story of David versus Goliath after Smart Omega ducked down a couple of their supremacy against WDC Free Slot, suckering in the Indonesian side, and Dunia Games never saw this coming.
The rare occurrence of 2 capture flags in here on control has been brought in by Smart Omega. Now another attempt might be done
Nobody
this time,
home.
but no, it's a different story, and they are now dying one at a time. Now let's see if they'll be able to turn this around. 30 lives still remains for Smart Omega. They are smarting up. They don't want to risk those, and it's just frags after frags against Dunia Games.
Oh my goodness, this is such a different team going up against Dunia Games in comparison to what we saw out there against WDC. XS1 Goliath pulled out. Edra this time around going to try to ravage these players. Risky can go in for the investment into that XS1 Goliath as well, so that we can have one bombastic finisher for the side of Smart Omega here. I mean, what are you keeping it for? You're clearly winning this match already, and even if you make a couple of mistakes now, there's no way Dunia Games is going to be able to punish you. They've only lost 4 lives so far. Dunia Games struggling, and this is the attacking side. Zen manages to take Risky out of the equation, but XS1 Goliath on that standby for that B flag already. A flag on the rip coming through from Zeze X, who wins out his gunfight. Both players getting the job done, but they are a little bit too slow. The engagements at Laundry sublime, and Zeze gets knocked out, but he's already taken away 1 marker because he assists the one and only Zen to jump on in there, and the XS1 Goliath rotating rather a little bit too slow, don't you think?
I mean, it doesn't matter if
Hunter
it's
killer.
slow. I mean, with the kills that has been done in there, especially with the hold that Kendi has already. Oh my goodness. This guy can really slay 20 already, and the points 2 less against Risky, who we know is a slayer already. And there we go. You asked for it, and the Goliath will be pulled out in there for the final moment with only 4 lives remaining.
Yep, but the A flag now on for the pull, but the backstab by Kendi can just undo them. And this is a triple XS1 Goliath stack for the side of Smart Omega in this round. The first one got taken out a little prematurely, but it doesn't really matter. A perfect 3-0 donut served up by the David versus Goliath. Dunia Games came down crashing hard.
Yeah, a lot of expectation from Dunia Games at this point, but Smart Omega smartened up, and also they're serious right now. It might have been the R's slacking off earlier, and to your point as well, there's not much of an offensive against Smart Omega to get that top 3. So it's more of placing onto the playoff that they need to focus on, and then later on bring what they had in here against Dunia Games for all the teams